Hello everyone. Myself Miss Rupal Desai from Srimati LPSAVANI VIDHYABHAVAN Adajan branch. In this teaching learning process, today we are going to start the first topic, that's figures of speech. Before to start the session, I just wanted to discuss what are the teaching points, what we have included in this topic. The teaching points are: what is figures of speech? Number 2 is types of figures of speech. Number 3, definition. And the fourth is examples. Now, the very first we are going to discuss today, what is figure of speech? It is a word or expression used in an imaginative way to make a special effect. A figures of speech is a creation of a special effect by the poet to draw the attention of the reader. I repeat the same sentence. A figure of speech is a creation of a special effect by the poet to draw the attention of the reader. It is yet helpful in creating the vivid effect. So on the whole, the figure of speech is used by the poet to draw the attention of the reader. Now, we have different types of figures of speech. In that, number 1 is alliteration. So what is alliteration? So I'll give you the define. There is a repetition of consonant sounds, especially in the beginning of the words. Now students, you know that there are two types of sounds, that is vowel and consonants. So here we need to find the consonant sound which are repeated in the sentence. So we'll have the example: she sells seashells down by the seashore. Again I am repeating the sentence: she sells seashells down by the seashore. Now while reading the sentence, you might be aware about one sound which is repeatedly repeated in the sentence, that is S sound. Now let me check whether S is consonant sound. So yes, it's consonant. So S sound is repeated here in the sentence. So we can call it as alliteration. So in alliteration figures of speech, we are going to find the consonant sound which are repeated, and it also found in the beginning of the words. Now moving forward to the second one, that is repetition. Repetition is a repetition of the same words or phrases to make an idea clearer and more memorable. Now let me check here. Alliteration. In alliteration figures of speech, we are going to find the repetition of consonant sounds in the beginning of the words. But in repetition, the word itself suggests that there is a repetition of words or a phrase in the sentence. Now see the example. Remember, no men are strange, no countries foreign. Again I am repeating the sentence. Remember, no men are strange, no countries foreign. So in the sentence there is a one word which is twice repeated. That is no, N-O, which is already underlined, and that's why this word is repetition, and so it is a type of repetition figures of speech. Now moving forward to the third one, that is antithesis. Now what is antithesis? Opposite or contrast ideas are used for the poetic effect. Opposite words you can find in the sentence, and that is given by the poet to draw the attention of the reader. Now see the example. Speech is silver, but silence is gold. So the words speech and silence, that two words are opposite and that's why it is an example of antithesis. The next example, patience is bitter but it has a sweet fruit. So bitter and sweet, they are opposite type of taste, and that's why it is also an example of antithesis. So in antithesis we find opposite words which are used by the poet. Now moving forward to the fourth one, that is tautology. Now before that we have discussed about the opposite words. Now we have tautology. What is tautology? Unnecessary use of words or ideas which do not add to the meaning. It says that the poet had used unnecessary, unwanted words which have no addition of meaning, which does not mean anything, but still it is used by the poet, which is not at all required in the sentence, and still it is given by the poet. That's called tautology. For example, in my opinion, they are the best, better than all the other ones. Now in this sentence, best word, it says that he is better than anyone else. Still the poet has used best as well as better than all the other ones. So here best and better than all the other ones are the similar words used by the poets, which does not add its meaning. That's why it's an example of tautology. Forward to the fifth one, that is simile. Now what is simile? It is direct comparison is made between two unlike objects. Here we can find the comparison between two words or an objects by using the words like or as, which already written in a capital letter, like and as. If you find the words like and as used by the poet to make the comparison between two words or an object, it is an example of simile. See this example. The camel is like the sheep of the desert. So in this sentence, the camel is compared with the sheep of the desert with the word like, and that's why it is an example of simile. So you just wanted to keep the thing in your mind that in simile you find the comparison by the poet by using two words, that's like or as. Now the sixth one is onomatopoeia. Now what's onomatopoeia? It is the use of words which produce sound or echo for poetic effect. So if in the sentence the poet had used some words which produce some sound, which is an example of onomatopoeia. For example, suddenly the baby begins to cry. Now the word cry, it makes the sound. For example, laughing, twinkling, tingling, tinkle, ringing, crying, that all makes a sound, which is an example of onomatopoeia. Moving forward to the seventh one, that is personification. Now what is personification? So here, inanimate objects and abstract notions are said to have human qualities. Now the poet had used some abstract nouns which have some human qualities, which comes under the example of personification. For example, the sun above the mountain's head. Now here I just make you understand that the sun above the mountain's head. So here the sun, the poet wants to say that the sun is above the mountain. But here the mountain is given the quality of head. It's above the head of the mountain, and head is the quality of our humans, and it is given to the mountain, and it is inanimate objects, and that's why it is an example of personification. Now today the last figure of speech we are going to discuss, that is transferred epithet. What is transferred epithet? An adjective is transferred from its original noun to another closely related to it. It means transferred epithet is worked as if it's an adjective. It worked like an adjective. For example, it is the human earth that we defile. So here the earth, it's a noun which described by the word human. How's the earth? Human earth. And that's why human, it is the adjective which describes the noun, and that's why it's called transferred epithet.